Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Moon Your System Masterclass. If any of you have ever been mooned before, then you know that it's quite shocking. It makes you pay attention and it kind of piques your interest. You want to know what's going on around you. And so that's kind of what we need to do with life. We need to understand what's going on around us, and we need to pay attention to those little things that happen around us. So that is why I named this class the Mooning Your System Masterclass, because it demands your attention and it wakes you up and it makes you start paying attention to what it is that's going on around you. So our bodies can tell us so much. Our energy is talking to us 24/7, but we need to know how to listen to it. And so that's what I'm going to teach you here today, is how to listen to the energy within your body and what it's trying to tell you. So I'll introduce you to the reason why you might be feeling stuck. I'll connect you to your intuition so that you can pay attention to your body, make better decisions, and gain confidence along the way. And so, speaking of confidence, that's one of the things that I still struggle with. And one of the things that totally throws me off when I do these is watching myself on the camera. And I tend to talk with my hands. So I lose my place and it just is very distracting for me. So I am going to turn my camera off and I'll turn it back on at the end. If there are questions from you guys, I'll turn it back on then so that we can see each other then. But let's just take care of some logistics first. If at any time you can't hear me or something isn't right, please message me in the chat. I do have my chat open so you can see that. Just let me know right now if you can hear me. And then also one other disclaimer, I do tend to get a little bit emotional with this because I've come a long way. And so sometimes that chokes me up a little bit and it makes me think back to where I was and how far I've come. So please forgive me if I get a little choked up. I don't always, but sometimes I do. Just like anything, we all tend to slip backwards a little bit sometimes. So I am going to shut my camera off right now. And I will start with just a little video. I'm going to ask that you hold all of your questions until the end, because at the end I'll have a whole question and answer period, and that way I don't have to go back and forth between the chat and trying to remember where I am in the masterclass. So if you'll hold all your questions to the end, there is one part that I will stop and ask you if you have questions because it's relevant to what we're doing. But if everything else you could hold till the end, that would be great. Oops. Okay. So I've stopped the video. I'm going to start with just some comments from our group meetings, just to kind of give you an idea of what our members are saying. And so I'm just going to let this next slide play for you.
I'm a different person than what I was, a couple years ago. It takes practice. It's not something that just comes naturally, but it's being aware and being present and trying not to think too far ahead in the future or in the past, and just really be present. And honestly, a lot of the tools that you learn along the way kind of teach you to recognize when you've fallen off and how to get back on. And recognizing it is the biggest piece for me. Just being able to recognize it. And I think the more you do it and the more you're on this journey, the easier it absolutely is.
I think without having this, I would be in really bad shape. I really feel this has helped me a lot.
Every time I come to this class, I feel so much more positive and re-energized just from, going through the information. And I look forward to the meetings because just talking about things and the energy from, you girls also is you feel it when you're on the call, So
I agree. I look forward to it too. And I definitely think that the energy together really helps us to heal, helping us to learn who we are at that deeper level, to help us to go through these lessons and be able to look at the bright side of it. Because when you go through something horrible, you don't think there's a bright side to it. There's no way that there could be a bright side to that. But once you start on this journey, you realize that there have been little lessons that have built you up to be strong enough to get through that. And so there's a reason, you just don't know what.
There's certain things that happen in your life that put you on this journey. You know, times and with different people. I think you've got a lot of great stuff in here, and it's all super helpful, and it's all stuff you can always look back on and help to like recharge.
You can step outside your comfort zone and heal those inner wounds.
And that's a big one for me. I've had it since I was little.
You got to focus on the now. You can't worry about the future because the worry takes away from the now.
Who's taking care of you?
So I hope that you will start taking care of you first, because in all honesty, when you take care of you first, there's more of you to give to more people. So you're really helping people more by taking care of you first.
I'm a different person.
So welcome to those of you that joined while we were playing the slide of what our members are saying. That was just a little snippet of what the members of our group are saying about our weekly group. We do have a weekly support group that goes with the program, which I will talk about a little bit more. And just so that you know, I did turn the camera off because I find that I distract myself, but I will be turning it back on at the end if you have questions. So what if I could help you to put that pain, anxiety, and stress behind you? What if you could stop those repeat patterns in your life? You know, the ones, the dream guy that keeps turning out to have the same qualities that you're trying to avoid, or the problem coworker, or the problem boss, or the job that you try to love but secretly loathe. What if you could stop all those crazy stories that keep repeating over and over in your mind and just focus on you? Let go of the past and leave that pain behind you. What if you no longer had to worry about what everyone else thinks? What if decisions came naturally to you? How many of you would love to be able to get there, to change our lives forever and learn how to start putting you first, to begin taking care of you, the deeper parts of you, and finding happiness along the way? Now, I know that everyone is saying yes right now, even if it's only in your head, but many of us are afraid, and fear can sometimes keep us stuck. But that's what I can help you with. So for the last 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to be able to help others who feel stuck in their lives to become unstuck, to find themselves underneath layer after layer of conditioning, and to finally understand who they really are so that they can level up their lives and break free from those repeating stories that are really holding them back from a life that they really could love. To be able to listen to their bodies, to help them to use their intuition to make decisions that are more aligned for them, to use their unique energy to help them to understand who they are underneath all of that conditioning, to connect with the deeper layers of themselves, and to get in alignment with their purpose. So these days, not only do I show them how to let go of that old life where they felt like they weren't important or worthy, but I show them ways to find out why that happened and how to break free from it. And I do this using a system that I'm going to share with you today that will help you to find your true self and finally live the life that you were really designed to live. One full of love and happiness, leaving the chaos and drama behind you. And trust me, I know how crazy this sounds, but I have seen it myself in quite a few people, including myself. And today, I want to spend my time showing you how to moon your system and empower you to take your life back. I'm going to introduce you to the process that I put together that's going to help you to get to the root cause of those feelings that likely brought you here today. The method that I'm going to introduce you to teaches you all about why certain things have happened in your life, how to stop them from happening again, what lessons you're destined to live out, your blessings and your purpose, where you may be acting on autopilot, how to use that same process to manifest a life you love, and so much more. You're going to learn to be confident in yourself and in your decisions, and watch how fast your life changes for the better. So there's 7 universal principles, or universal laws, as some call them. And these are laws by which everyone and everything in the universe are governed. And these universal laws are a key component of this process. But before I can share this process with you, I want you to understand something very important. it needs you to understand just a couple of truths. The first one is that principles apply to all people at all places at all times. So it's really important for me to teach you the principles behind your unique energy. Because if I just came in and did an energy reading for you, which I could do, but that's only going to show you how to apply the principle. That's not going to show you how to apply the principles. And it doesn't give you the understanding that you need in order to repeat the outcome that you desire. All that's going to show you is sort of a general overview of what your energy looks like, but you really need to know how to use it. Because this isn't a one and done process. It's a repeatable process that you can use in every area of your life. So you can use it over and over and over again. This isn't one of those systems that you've done before where they teach you a new skill and you only get a little change out of it. This is a repeatable, life-changing process that works on all people at all places at all times. And it uses each person's individual, unique energy, which gives them the ability to heal their inner wounds and change their life one step at a time. And we're always growing. So this is a fabulous tool to have in your tool belt. So the second truth that I want you to understand is that energy doesn't lie. Just think back to yourself about some of the gut or instinctual feelings that you've had. Our gut feelings don't usually steer us wrong. They're usually pretty right or pretty on target. And our intuition can show up in so many different ways. And sometimes it's just a gut feeling or a gut instinct. Other times it might show us in more subtle ways. And sometimes it operates in these waves where it starts with just a feeling you might be missing something. And that feeling grows and grows until we have no choice but to pay attention to it. And if you're anything like me, maybe you've tried to ignore it, refusing to believe that there's anything wrong because somehow in our heads, it's easier than facing the truth. And I know myself, I've done this many, many times. But when we don't listen, life gives us a nudge. You know, that thing that happens that really causes us to reevaluate. Those nudges get stronger when we don't listen. And then if we still aren't paying attention or doing anything about it, sometimes something happens that then pushes us way outside of our comfort zone and creates chaos and drama in our life. And this is the exact thing that we're trying to get away from. But these are things that make it impossible for us to ignore anymore. It kind of reminds me of the eagle when the eagle mom is training the babies how to fly and they just push them out of the nest so that they can learn to fly on their own. And that's kind of what it feels like for us. We feel like we're just pushed out of a nest and we don't know where to go and we don't know how to fly and we don't know how to make it work and we have no control. But we could either fall and smash into a million tiny pieces or we can learn to fly. And so what this program does is it teaches you how to learn to fly because unfortunately, I was not one of the lucky ones who figured out how to fly on my own in time. And so I spent countless time, energy, and money on trying to figure out a way to piece my life back together in a way that was going to make me happy. And what I found on my journey was that my heart had to be shattered open into a million little pieces in order for me to let that light in. And it's in that light where I found the answers. And those are the answers that I want to share with you. So I probably should formally introduce myself before we go any further. My name is Jody, and I used to be a hot mess. Just a few short years ago, I was lost and confused, and every area of my life was falling apart. And when I say every area of my life, I mean every area of my life. I hated my job. I didn't know if I wanted to be married anymore. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. I felt lost, alone, unloved, unworthy. Every negative thing that you could feel about yourself, that's how I felt. And I knew that I couldn't continue to live like that. So I started a journey of self-discovery, and that's what led me to where I am today. So today, I'm happy to report I am a certified and professionally trained quantum human design specialist, an energy healer, an empowerment coach, and the founder of the Holistic Energy Empowerment System, as well as the owner of Infinite Soul, which is a spiritual-based business that specializes in helping people to get back to their true self, who they were meant to be before all of that conditioning and negative self-talk got to them. I work with men and women who are looking to gain confidence in midlife and to find their passion and their purpose. Many don't begin to know who they are or how to take control back of their lives. That's where I started. And they're worried about what everyone else will think once they do. Their minds are consumed with worries, and those worries are holding them back, and they just feel stuck. I also work with midlife moms who have spent their entire lives doing everything for everyone but themselves. And now that they've realized it, they're struggling to find themselves and they feel lost and alone. I work with women through going through more than what they want to bear on their own, and they're just looking for support to connect with and a group to share their thoughts and their dreams with. This is a safe place where we can learn about ourselves, connect, get additional support from someone who may have already gone through what you're going through, or maybe going through the same type of things that you are. It's a safe space to try on different options and opinions and learn as we grow. I spent the last 4 years studying how energy impacts us and creating a program that's guaranteed to turn your life around, just like it has mine and several of my clients. I haven't had one client yet that it hasn't worked with. Together, we work together to find the root cause of unhappiness. And I help you to understand the why behind what's happened in your world and to heal those inner wounds to give you the confidence that you need to go after your dream life. So imagine going from feeling lost and lonely to living literally the life that you always dreamed of. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's 100% possible, and I am living proof of that. And since you're here, you're already halfway there. So the system I'm going to introduce you to guarantees that you can have the life you always dreamed of, as long as you are honest and true to yourself and willing to do the inner work. So I will tell you that this journey is not an easy journey, but it is well worth the effort. I can promise you that. Our thoughts are energy, and those thoughts tell us a lot about what we need to heal. And that's where our power lies. So that's what I'm going to show you, is what those thoughts that you're having mean. So I want to tell you a story about me that I think will explain how I got here, and maybe some parts of it you might even be able to relate to. So I've always felt like I didn't really fit in. I always felt like I was the last minute ask, or the one that they felt obligated to ask or to invite. I sometimes tried too hard because I thought that's what I wanted, but I often felt hurt by those I was trying to connect with. So that caused me to put up a lot of walls to prevent myself from being hurt. And so I just distanced myself further from the connections that I was actually looking for. And I never understood why. I just figured it was my shyness getting in the way again. So I just kept myself protected, backing away from any friendships that I thought maybe could hurt me. And in 2020, I hit a brick wall. I lost both of my parents. I felt alone, abandoned, and isolated. And in the midst of it all, I had other family, work, and personal problems going on, which distanced me from pretty much everyone in my life. My friends, my immediate family, my distant family, my in-laws, you name it. I had nobody on my side. And in that aloneness, it gave me time to look into myself and understand why I felt the way I did. I spent a lot of time investigating and trying to figure out who I was. And what I found answered so many questions for me. So what I found was that those feelings that I had were not really who I was, but they were who I was pretending to be. Only I didn't know I was pretending. I had put up so many walls that I now believed myself to be that shy girl that was a last minute or obligatory invite. When we believe ourselves to be something, that's what we become. Our subconscious mind believes what we tell it. So when we tell it we're not worthy, we actually cause ourselves to act as if we're not worthy, which is what creates more of that scenario back into our life. It's the law of reflection. It brings back to us what we're putting out there. So the energy that we're putting out there is that we're not worthy. And so that's exactly what that's bringing back to us. And so when I figured this out, I then wondered, well, how did I get that way? So on this journey, you'll learn that one thing does lead you to another, and it does it in divine timing. So I was led from one thing to another, leading me to get the answers to the questions that I had been asking my whole life. Why do I feel this way? And so what I realized was that what happened to me as a child has really manifested throughout my life and created me to be this shy girl who shied away from friends and put these walls up to not be hurt. Because what I realized was I came from a divorced family. My parents were divorced when I was 3. And the last memory that I have of my dad living at home was him pushing me out the bathroom door because he was bleeding from his head because he had just gotten a car accident. Now, as a child, I took that to mean, get away from me, I don't want you. And the fact that my parents were divorced when I was 3, as a 3-year-old, we don't have any sense of reasoning in our minds. We don't know how to reason. We don't know how to really understand what's going on. So as a 3-year-old, when they got divorced and he moved out, in my mind, it was because he didn't want to live with me. And then after they got divorced, a couple of years later, my brother went to live with him, and I was not invited. And I felt like it was, again, because he didn't want me. I would go, he would pick me up on Sundays to see him, but not every Sunday. And so on those Sundays when he didn't come, again, I felt like, okay, I must not be important. He must not want me. And so that's how that kind of manifested in my life. What I found was that when I started to see how this unraveled, I realized that normal everyday life situations, like my parents' divorce, that I was attributing to me, actually had nothing to do with me. My parents' divorce had nothing to do with me, but from the way that my brain operated at that 3-year-old level, I took on the meaning that it was because of me. In my 3-year-old brain, my parents were getting a divorce and my dad was leaving because he didn't want me. My dad pushing me out the bathroom door was really because he didn't want me to see him bleeding from the head. But in my 3-year-old mind, it was because he didn't want me. And my brother going to live with him was because he needed some stricter guidelines. But in my mind, as a 5 or a 6-year-old, he didn't want me. And the Sundays that I didn't get to go to dad's weren't because he didn't want me. It's because he had to work or he had plans, because every now and then life gets in the way, right? And sometimes on Sundays, he would pick us up and take us either to the movies and Papagino's or to my grandmother's for dinner. Like we wouldn't go to his house. And at the time, I took that to mean that they didn't want me because he was married and he had 3 stepdaughters. So at the time, I took that to mean that they didn't want me. But really, it was probably because, and I don't know the answer to this, but it was probably because he was fighting with my stepmother, or something was going on, or the girls had something, or no one was home, or whatever it might be. In my adult mind now, after doing the research, I know it wasn't because of me, but as a 3-year-old child, that's the meaning I made up. And so these meanings that we make up as a child, they go through our lives with us and we don't even realize it. We're making decisions based on these things that happened that we have a misunderstanding of. So when we can reflect on our beliefs, it really helps us to change the perspective and open our minds to other possibilities. So those things that I attributed to my dad not wanting me really didn't have anything to do with me. Yet in my mind as a child, with the limited faculties that I had, that's what I believed. And that changed the way that I looked at things, which actually changed my life. So understanding that those things were not my fault and they were not because of me has really helped me to break away from some of the limiting beliefs that I've let hold me back my entire life. And they're really some of the things that have caused me low self-esteem and low self-worth. And so when I operated from that low self-esteem standpoint, I brought more of that back into my life. In my mind, if my dad didn't want me, how was anyone else going to accept me? There must be something wrong with me. And so that's the thought process that I had at the time. But this process has helped me to gain more confidence and forgive myself for those beliefs that I had that were not true for so long. There's a lot more to this, and it really goes several layers deep. But I just wanted to get my point across that this is how we're subconsciously reacting to things in life. And it's a good example of how that played out for me. There are beliefs that we have that became beliefs without us even knowing it. And throughout this masterclass, I'm going to show you how this happens. And now I just want to mention here, it's definitely worth mentioning that this process works in every single area of life you want to explore, whether that's your friendship groups, your love life, your work life, your social life, your relationships with your husband, your wife, your individual friendships, literally every area of your life. But it's a giant project, if you will, to take on. So you don't want to do it all at once. You want to pick the area that's really hurting you the most right now and start in that area. So it's good because you have like a trial and error process that you can use to make sure that this is working for you. So I just want to let you know, there is definitely help. The law of polarity states that everything has two sides. So if you're having negative thoughts or beliefs about yourself, it has to also be possible that there's a positive side to that. And that's exactly where I was and how I found my way out. So opening your mind and your heart to different perspectives by using this principle can really break you free from the negativity and open you up to a whole new world of possibilities. So I want you to make a promise to yourself today. But it's really, really, really important, and I can't stress this enough, that you really commit to this. And if you're not ready to commit to a promise to yourself, then don't make the promise. What I want you to do is to promise yourself that you're going to give yourself the time and at least give yourself the time to explore what this is about as a stepping stone on your path to taking your power back. Because you're here for a reason, and that reason is the exact same reason that I'm here today, and that everyone else joining us both now and in the replay are here. So speaking from someone who was standing where you're at not all that long ago, trust me when I tell you that making a promise to yourself will be the most powerful and healing thing that you will ever do for yourself. And the reason that I say that you have to really commit to this is because often when we make promises to ourselves, we tend to falter on those promises first. And it's not our fault at all. It's just how we've been conditioned and also how we've gotten into the situation that we're in. But in order to start putting ourselves first, we really need to learn to keep the promises to ourselves. It's really one of the most empowering things that we can do for ourselves. This promise that you're going to make to yourself, if you decide to, is the beginning of your transformation. And I'm also going to make you a promise today. I'm going to promise you that if you stay until the end and give this time back to yourself, that I will give you some really great prizes at the end to help you start on this journey. All of the freebies that I'm going to give you are a glimpse inside of you to help you to see what your superpowers are and how to start reading them for yourself. And I'll tell you at the end what they are, but they're super, super exciting. So no one ever taught us that we had all this power within us. I don't know about you, but I had no idea that there was even a way to understand what we were feeling and why, so I certainly didn't know how to find it. But let's face it, when it comes to ourselves, most of us feel guilty for spending time, energy, and money on ourselves, so we just don't do it. And then we find out that something like this is going to change our lives, and we get scared and we back off. And all that does is bring you more of the same of what you're trying to escape from. Give yourself a chance. Start paying attention to your energy. Start paying attention to what your body is saying to you. When you get chills in a random moment, or your stomach drops in another moment, or a random thought of someone special pops into your mind, those are all messages. And our energy is the messenger, but most of us don't know how to understand what it's telling us. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to invest in ourselves to help support our own personal growth by learning to understand our energy. I think we all know that we miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. So if we don't take the time for ourselves to get to the root of it, nothing will change and our life's going to be the same 3 months, 6 months, even a year, 10 years from now. So in order to bring change to our lives, we have to be willing to make some of those changes. The price of doing the same thing is far higher than the price of change. And trust me, because I've tested this. As Henry Ford put it, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. So it's time to do something different. And so I want to show you how mooning our system helps us to shift our focus. We're going to shift our focus to ourselves. So think about it. Have you ever had anything happen that has shocked you? Likely we all have. But it kind of feels like a wake-up call of sorts. It makes you pay attention. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to moon our system to shock it into awareness. And if you've ever been mooned before, the first thought that typically comes to mind is, why would they do that? And it's in that state of mind when we open our minds to other frames of thought. When we shock our system into awareness, it helps us to awaken us to our potential, and it opens a window of opportunity to look at things from different perspectives. It seems to catapult our lives into the future where possibilities are endless and where we can reposition ourselves so that we can reclaim our inner power. The law of attraction gives us permission to focus on us. It literally says that like attracts like, and what we focus on is what we get. So what better thing to focus on than ourselves? Since the reason that you're likely here is because you want to know how to stop those repeat patterns of pain, stress, anxiety, what better time than right now to start focusing on you? The law of inspired action teaches us that we have to focus our attention on something in order to attract it into our lives. So I hope that you'll start your journey of self-discovery right now by putting your phone in another room, closing all the tabs on your computer, and giving this time back to yourself. Be interactive, share your thoughts and feelings. Giving something your time is not the same thing as giving something your attention. So I dare you to test this principle right now. This is your first chance to see how the law of inspired action works by allowing yourself the time to focus on your own inner journey. So what I'm about to talk to you today has the potential to completely change your life. You can put those feelings of not good enough, not worthy enough behind you, because you're going to learn who you were meant to be and how to use that power to manifest the life of your dreams. Living that dream life where you feel comfortable in your own skin, happy in your home life, your career, and your social life with minimal stress or worries in any of your relationships, feeling strongly for who you are and proud of who you've become. Finally, making choices that put you first and shows others how they are to value you, which is really, really important. How you treat yourself is really how you show others to treat you as well. Understanding what caused you to become that person and how to unravel it all. Knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you did the right thing or that you're doing the right thing, and that every stumbling block is a gift, a life lesson to help lead you to the next right thing, all while mending pieces of your heart along the way. Because we all have broken hearts. We all have walls that we've put up. And what I'm going to teach you is how to break all that down and how to use it to heal those inner wounds so that we don't need protection. And it's not as scary as it sounds. It doesn't all happen at once. It happens in time. So it's a process that you can kind of watch unfold, and you can see your work in progress, and it provides you with the proof along the way that this works. So before we get started, one of the most important things that you can do to start this process is to really visualize and really think about where you would like to be and what you would like your life to look like. To really take some time and sit down with a pen and a piece of paper, or I like to use a journal, and start thinking about where you are right now and where you'd like to be. What would you like your life to look like? And this is a key component to the process, because you can't get to your dream life if you don't know where you're going or what you want. So typically I do this as part of the class, but the last couple classes said that they didn't have enough time to write down what they wanted and they had to go back and do it after. And I think it's really important to have the time you need for this to really generate that energy. So I'm going to give you the instructions on what to do, and I would recommend that you do this right after the class when it's still fresh in your mind. So I'll give you the steps here, and if you want to write them down, that's fine. But I'm not going to give you a lot of time in between because I really want you to have the time to focus on this. So it's really important to place all of the focus on you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some time for yourself and sit in a quiet area where nobody can bother you so that you can reflect on where you are right now. What does your life look like and what aspects are you looking to change? You want to write all that down. And it's really important to write it down because, and this is why I like to do it in a journal, but it's super helpful to look back on it later and see how far you've come. So what I like to do is I like to start a new journal with that, where I am right now. And then when I switch focus, it's all in the same place. And so when you look back 6 months, a year, 3 years from now, you can really see how far you've come. The next step is to picture yourself as that person that you want to be. What would you like to change in your life? And I'm going to give you some questions to reflect on. You can either write these down, come back to this section in the recording later, or you can come up with your own questions. And this isn't an all-encompassing list. You can mix and match and add in here and there, but the goal is to get you a very clear visual of the life that you want to live. So here are some sample questions that you could ask yourself. And you can also, I'm going to send you the recording of this, so you can also go back after and pause this and write the questions down if I'm going too fast for you. How are people going to treat you differently when you're acting as this new version of yourself? How are you going to treat yourself differently? What kinds of things will you be doing to light you up? What will your life look like once you have made those changes? What would your life look like if you received exactly what you wanted? What are you doing for work? How has that changed your life for the better? Where do you live and who do you live with? What does your home look like? Is it on a lake, the ocean, the mountains, the forest? Is there someone special, or are you too independent to settle down with someone? What does your social life look like? Are you a social butterfly or more of a comfort in your own home kind of person? And what I want you to do is I want you to picture in your mind how it would feel to be that person. And this is really important because when you want to have something in your life, if you think about it, we usually, in order to manifest that into our lives, we picture how we would feel. Like, say you wanted a new couch. You picture how you would feel on that new couch, what it would look like in your home, how it would match with the other furniture, where you would position it. And you feel through that process. And it's in those feelings that help you to manifest. So you want to make sure that you are feeling into how it would feel to be that person. And so once you've done all this, you've now written out a rough sketch of what your new life can look like. And so next, what I want you to do is I want you to think about one baby step that you could take immediately towards that goal. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. And I know I told you how important this step is, but I just want to reiterate, because creating visions for our life brings our energy around it, and it really helps to build the excitement. So this is a key piece of manifesting and transforming. This is the kind of energy that really helps to create momentum around our goals, and it helps us to start creating and then achieving those goals. And I will tell you from experience that it works. We have to practice being who we want to be before we can actually have that lifestyle. So it's really important to be clear on what we want. And when I say clear, I mean as many details as you can get around that thing that you want. And in human design, there is a way for you to tell whether you are a detail-oriented manifester or not. We're not going to get into that today, but there is a way to tell whether or not you're more of a detailed manifester. Some people are not as detailed, and so if that's how you feel and you don't feel you need a lot of details, that's okay, as long as you can feel into that lifestyle that you want. So one of the things about this journey is that it can be very lonely. Many of us feel as if we're all alone, and we go on hiding our true feelings because we're afraid of what everyone else is going to think. We feel bad enough. We don't want to have to worry about that right now. And so we hold it all in and we journey on by ourselves. But the truth is, the only thing that's going to break you free is to really face those feelings that you've had. And so the journey does not have to be a lonely one. All of us that are in this masterclass, plus all of the thousands more that are going to watch the replay, we are all here for very similar reasons. Our lives need an overhaul, and we need to make some changes that, in all honesty, may be a bit scary. But let's face it, change is scary. And when you think about it, change is usually scary because we're either worried about what everyone else is going to think, or we're worried about how we will feel. We don't want to lose that comfort zone that we live in. But it's outside that comfort zone where we're really going to find our true selves. Those are forms of fear. And when you look up the definition of fear in the Webster's Dictionary, it describes it as uneasy feelings that imply anxiety and loss of courage. So if you think about it, we're allowing fear to run our lives. And since that's what we're trying to break free from, we really have to get to the root cause. Behind every fear is a belief. And every one of us holds beliefs. And beliefs are subjective mental points of view that may or may not be true. They're choices that we make to believe something to be true. It does not make them fact, but it does create our reality. So just like I talked about earlier, about the beliefs that I had when I was a little girl and my parents were divorced, from my 3-year-old mind, I believed that my dad didn't want me. But that wasn't really true. And so when we start to dig apart these beliefs and figure out where they came from, it starts to make us feel whole again, because we can let go of those beliefs that they're not serving us and they're not true. So it's a perfect opportunity to let go of those beliefs that are not serving us and that are actually, unfortunately, hurting us. So, as I said in the beginning, many of our beliefs are ingrained in us so deep that we aren't even aware of their presence. Yet they're the guiding forces behind the decisions that we make in our lives every single day. The decisions that we make in our lives are what creates our reality. So in order to break free from our reality and those self-sabotaging cycles that seem to keep finding us, we have to be willing to look at our beliefs so that we can make different choices. So let's start by looking at the mind and how the mind works. There's 2 parts to the mind. There's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the part that we're aware of. It supports our day-to-day life. And then there's the subconscious mind, which takes care of the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. It's kind of like the chief of staff. The subconscious mind makes things happen quickly and efficiently, and it takes the path of least resistance. The conscious mind is much smaller than the subconscious mind, and its job is just to keep you aware in the moment. It doesn't hold memories, and it's very limited in its capacity, and it sticks to the current moment only. The subconscious mind is able to hold a lot more information, and its job is to take pressure off of the conscious mind. The subconscious mind controls everything from our breathing to our personality and even our lifestyle. It's how our heart beats, it's how our eyes flutter, it's how our blood gets circulated, it's how we talk, it's how we think, it's everything. Everything that we have experienced in life goes through our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind filters through it all and works with our conscious mind to help it to make decisions in the moment based on past events. So that causes us to respond based on past events on autopilot. So what that means is that our conscious mind, the one that operates our day-to-day life, is really only responsible for the decisions that we make in less than 5% of our daily life, which means that 95% of our life is on autopilot. So 95% of our decisions are made from a preset belief and attitude, and we don't even realize it's happening. It takes over those daily decisions because it's seen you do them a million times, and it's trying to help support your conscious mind. But what it really does is it makes decisions based on how you've always made decisions. It digs back into the archives in a split second, and it responds with an answer that matches what you've always done. So it's just repeating more of what you've always done, giving you the results that you've always gotten. And that's why those same situations keep repeating in your life and why you feel stuck. Because your subconscious mind immediately triggers an emotion to push us into action, and without even realizing it, the next experience is created. So each of those experiences is solidifying a belief even when we're not aware of it. So we're literally just walking through life on autopilot and missing out on opportunity after opportunity. Now, there's a good example of this that I'm sure that you've experienced. Have you ever driven somewhere? For me, it's usually to or from work, and then not remembered the ride? That's a perfect example of how our subconscious mind takes over. And our subconscious mind is what is running our lives until we wake it up, which is why we're here mooning our system. Because it's okay to be different. No two are the same. We are raised to believe that we are all humans and we all should look, feel, and act a certain way. But in all actuality, each of us is completely different, unique, all with a different soul curricula and all with different, unique, energetic designs that carve out different paths for each of us. We don't all have the same goals, dreams, desires, paths, lessons, and therefore we can't all be expected to successfully operate in the same way, yet that's exactly what society tries to teach us. Of the over 8 billion people in the world, each and every one of us is different. No two people are exactly the same. And in other words, it is okay to be different. It's how we were designed. We've also all been conditioned by societal expectations to become someone that we're not. But life is not a costume or an overcoat where we can just take a one-size-fits-all approach. There's so many intricate details, and each and every one of us has different energies and different lessons to learn. Yet we're all told what to do and how to do it. When we do something outside of the norm, society's reaction causes us to feel like we did something wrong. It makes us feel uncomfortable. So we sock that away in our memory to never do that again. That's our protection mechanism. But that changes who we are, and it causes us to lose ourselves. And it happens to every single one of us in one way or another. No one is immune to this. This conditioning is what has made up our personality. And that's what makes this difficult, because it really hurts our heart when it hits our identity. But what I'm telling you is that your identity is really underneath all of that conditioning. The conditioning is not part of who you are. Well, at least it doesn't have to be. We get to be the ones to make the choices of who we want to be, and we have the power to change that within ourselves. There's power in our thoughts more than we realize. The more we think about things, the more power we bring to creation. So just like a seed that's planted in the ground and it grows into beautiful flowers, those are the seeds that we plant in the subconscious mind, and it's from those seeds that we create. So our power is in changing those subconscious thoughts. So think about it. When we follow the same routine every day, thinking the same thoughts and performing the same actions, we're producing the same emotions, which produces the same results. If we start thinking different thoughts and taking baby steps towards our goals, as you start to see things shift, you're going to have different emotions and you're going to see different results. So you get to be in charge. You get to decide what it is you'd like to manifest, and then you get to test it along the way. Many of us believe that the solution to what's causing us to be miserable is outside of us, that by removing someone or something from our lives, it's going to help us to move on. But the solutions to what's bottled up inside of us is not going to come from outside of ourselves. Yet that's where most of us go on our journey. Have you ever, and I know I've done this myself, have you ever scoured the house or the office or the car, looking everywhere for your glasses or your keys, retracing all your steps over and over, only to find that they were either in your hand or on your head the whole time? This is what we do when we try to find answers. We look everywhere outside of ourselves, but the answer to our own lives can only be found within our own hearts. But most of us don't take the time to go within to do that search. Some coaches say that our subconscious mind sometimes somehow finds it easier if we just blame it on someone else, if it can be someone else's fault. But I think it's more like we don't really know how to go within. And I say that because that was me. I was always looking to find a reason by analyzing the scenario over and over again, trying to figure out what everyone else was thinking and why I felt misunderstood. I had no idea that those powers were within me, never mind how to find or use them. And so this is kind of why I created this program, because I was able to find some steps that helped me and have now helped several other people. And so I know they can help you too. Using a few different aspects of energy healing, I was able to put together a way to dig into the trenches of our lives and find a way for each of us to truly find ourselves and to feel validated for the way that we have felt in the past, because we found the answers to the whys that we've been asking our entire lives. And so when I first started this journey, I was scared. I didn't fully trust it, but I took a leap of faith and I tested it every single step of the way, and it has not failed me yet. I don't expect it to fail me now. If I could give you one tip in this entire workshop, it would be this. Our brains don't know the difference between real and imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about and who we are being is what we want in our lives. This is, again, why that promise to ourselves that we did in the beginning is so important. And I want to repeat this sentence to you again, because it's really powerful. Our brains don't know the difference between real and imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about and who we be is what we want. There's a lot in those two sentences, so take your time and digest that. But the key here is, this is the key to manifestation. This is why we did the visual at the beginning, to really help generate energy around what's possible for you. The key to manifestation is to be who we want to be, but we can't be who we want to be until we understand why we are the way we are right now and how to break that down. And practice forgiveness on the journey, because there's a lot of things that we believed about ourselves and our lives that you'll find are not true. And that's where we're going to find our power, is when we break all that down. So it truly is a magnificent journey that really teaches us a lot about ourselves. One of the things that I learned in my corporate days was that you have to get to the root cause if you want to eliminate a problem. And so since our lives are a reflection of our thoughts, it really makes sense to start there. Our thoughts are generated by the firing of neurons and the transmission of synapses. And while that sounds really complicated, it all boils down to thoughts are energy. There's energy all around us. Our thoughts, words, and actions, they're all energy. We are literally made up of 99.999% energy. And our story gets created from energy. Energy plays a key role in who we are and the life we create. The power of change is within each of us in the form of our energy. Energy controls everything, including our health. This is why nothing that you've tried, like therapy, meds, or any other alternative coping mechanisms, were working, because none of those address our core energy or our core belief systems. We are not all the same. We have all had different experiences. We all have different energies, and how those two mix together in our lives is what creates our experiences. So when you start to look within and address the meanings that you've given to your beliefs, you start to change your story. And when you change your story, you change your life. And the best part is you get to pick the story. There's so many ways in which our energy shows up for us. It's constantly talking to us. Its job is to help guide us through life, but we're not told that we even have it, never mind how to use it. And so this process is going to lead you through it. It's going to teach you what it is and how to use it for you. It's literally personalized to your unique energy. Because each of us has our own unique energetic design. There are no two humans that will ever live out their design the same way, even if they have similar designs. Even twins who might have the exact same design are not going to live out the story in the same way. You have to understand your own unique energy and you and your thoughts and your feelings, and you put them all together, and it really tells a story of you. Because we're not all designed the same way, yet we do live in a society where we're conditioned to all live the same way and to follow the same standards and the same rules. And some of that makes no sense at all, yet here we are living that way because that's what society told us to do. It's no wonder we're so confused with who we are on the inside. We are the ones who need to make the change, because if we don't make the change, nothing will change outside of us. The role that we have filled up till now in our life is changing, and so too do we need to change. And the way we need to do that is by understanding who we really are on the inside. And we do that by looking at and studying our energy. How does it show up? Where do you feel it? How does it feel? What lesson could it be trying to teach you? Energy is literally the most powerful thing in our lives, and so few people understand its messages. This is the key to unlocking our secrets, and it's backed up by Nikola Tesla, who was a genius before his time, Albert Einstein, who was one of the most influential scientists of all time, and quantum physics, the scientific study of matter and energy at the smallest of scales. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Tesla says that if you want to call something into your life, you must do that through matching its vibration. The law of vibration states everything in the universe is in a constant state of movement, and all matter, thoughts, and feelings have a vibrational frequency. This dates back to ancient civilizations and has been used to explain everything from energy healing to the law of attraction. And what I'm going to teach you is how to change your vibration by changing your thoughts. Albert Einstein said, everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can't help but get that reality. And quantum physics studies the behavior of matter and energy at the smallest scale and scientifically proves that energy is not created nor destroyed. It only changes vibration, and that everything is made of vibration, made up of energy. So it only makes sense that if we want to make changes, we need to focus on our energy, because the energy is the key. Holding on to negative energy has a far bigger impact on our lives than we realize. And when we don't properly process our feelings, that creates internal pressure. And that internal pressure creates more thoughts and emotions to match our thoughts and adds stress and anxiety to our lives and lowers our vibration. So without proper metabolism, it creates stress and anxiety. It leads to negative self-talk. And when it's not nurtured correctly, it can lead to mental and physical health problems. And I don't know about you, but no one ever taught me that stuff growing up. I always thought that it was normal to have negative self-talk, and I certainly never knew that it could literally make me sick. See, energy has to move freely, and when we put up those barriers, you know, the walls that we put up to prevent from being hurt again, it's those energetic barriers that cause a disturbance in the transportation of our energy, and that's what causes disease. We have what's called meridians in our body, and these are the channels that direct the flow of energy throughout our body. It's kind of like the circulatory system directs the flow of blood in your body. The meridians direct the flow of energy in your body. And when we try to control things by putting up these walls and barriers, it interrupts the flow of energy, the energetic flow of our energy, and that's what causes us to have blocked or low vibrational frequencies, and that can cause illness. So when we understand what our unique energy is and how to work with it, it really helps us to keep that energy flowing at a higher vibration level to keep those meridians happy and to keep illness at bay. So it's really important that we learn to work with our own unique energy, because energy is the guiding force of our life. It's going to lead us directly to the areas where we need to heal. Our energy can explain the patterns that have been repeating in our lives, and it can lead us to our core wounds so that we know exactly what to work on. It teaches us lessons. It helps us to practice forgiveness and self-love, and it can even promote healing in our body and our mind. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. This means that you have the power to transform the energy that's guiding your life. Using our energy to get to the root cause of our feelings helps us to better understand our energy so that we can learn from it and shift our identity. Our identity is not who we are. Remember, we talked about this earlier. It's who we believe ourselves to be. And this process gives us the power to change our beliefs and become who we want to be. We have to give ourselves permission to change those beliefs. Each of us was born with a unique energetic design that shows us where we have consistent access to energy and where we may borrow it from others. And when we do borrow it from others, we often amplify that, so it feels different for us. And just like our identity is unique to us, so too is our unique energetic design. Our energetic design breaks down our unique energy, and it shows us the story that we were designed to live out. It's like our own personal map. It's the story of who we truly are on the inside, underneath all of that conditioning. Our unique energy can tell us so much about ourselves, yet we're not ever taught how to use it. But this is what I'm here to help you with. I studied all things energy and found that by combining them, we can get a really clear picture of who we are. It's a blueprint of the story of your life. Our energetic design is like the GPS system of our life. It's the guidance system that leads us to unlock the doors of our unique path, and it shows us where to look and which energies get metabolized where, so that when we pay attention, we can find the lessons in life and use them as catalysts for our growth. Most of us have felt this in some way, but it goes much, much deeper than most of us realize. Have any of you ever walked into a room and felt the tension, like you knew something was going on, but you didn't know what? That's your energy vibrating. That's your energy talking to you. And as you might expect, if you've ever felt the tension in a room or even just worked with a crabby coworker, that's not just your energy, but you can actually take in energy from others and amplify it. And that's why even if you went to work in a great mood, when you have to work next to Debbie Downer all day, it's really draining. They're projecting that energy onto you all day long. But there is a way to recognize that so that you can become aware of it so that it doesn't interfere with you. Each of us is born with our own unique energetic blueprint. Only most of us don't know about it. And some of us kind of stumble through life trying to figure it out, or at the very least, just trying to make it through another day or another crisis. This is just an example of what some of the energies that we carry are responsible for, and our unique definition in human design shows us exactly where we have consistent access to energy and where we may borrow it from others and how that works. And so just to give you a quick overview of human design and how that works, these are the energy centers, and each of these energy centers metabolizes a different type of energy. And when it's open, it acts a certain way, and when it's defined, it acts a certain way. So in your chart, if it were to be open, it would be white. And if it were to be colored in, then it's defined. And there's different ways in which it interacts with us. And one of your freebies is going to walk you through all of this, so don't worry about that. But what if I was able to walk you into a new reality? What if I walked you right over that bridge to your dream life? One where you felt comfortable with who you are, proud to stand up for what you believe in, and confident in the decisions that you make. What would that feel like for you? What would your life look like? How would your world change? Some of those aspects that you might have thought about at the beginning that you'd like to see change, This is a step-by-step process that'll walk you through each step of the way to help turn your life around. Robin Sharma says that everything in life is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. And if you can dream it, you can do it. Like we did in the beginning, just take a very quick moment to picture yourself on the other side of that bridge as that self-confident, happy, and content version of you, the one that you are proud to have become. And I'm going to give you a minute because I want you to really picture yourself as that person, and I really want you to feel into how that would feel. I would be honored if you allowed me to help you to step across that bridge to that new reality. A reality that you have only been able to dream about in the past. A reality that really can be a dream come true. You hold that power within you to make those changes in your life. And I'm going to prove it to you by showing you what it is that's blocking you and how to use it differently to learn and grow from it instead of allowing it to keep you stuck in those cycles of pain, anxiety, and stress. Believe me, I know exactly how you feel because I once was where you are, wondering how to get out of that, how to change my life, how to get across that bridge. And it was in my search for those things that I found the answers and pieced together this system based on the universal principles that allowed me to not only see, but to believe in my own superpowers. Raising vibrations and bringing more happiness and abundance into our lives. And this is when everything changed for me and when it changed for my clients. The system has put me in a unique position and definitely not one that I ever pictured myself to be in. I have the power to help people to heal themselves from the inside out. And I have a passion for sharing this because I know how much it can help to truly know who you are and what you want. And how proud you can be of yourself for working on it on your own. You won't be on your own. We have a whole support group, but without an army of outsiders having to know your business, because this is a very private group. We're all going through the exact same things and we're there to support each other on the journey. So outside of our group, you don't even have to tell anybody. People are going to notice it by the way that you're responding to life. I will walk you through every step of the way, and I will provide a safe space for weekly group meetings with a team of people who provide support like you've never had before. In this meeting, we support each other and we help to keep everyone on track because we all do fall off every now and then, including me. And this journey does not have to be a lonely one. So why not do it together? And when I say support like you've never had, I mean it. Our group is filled with others who are feeling just like you, so they totally get it. They know how difficult the journey can be, but they also can show you how to overcome it and how much it can change lives. We're all in this together, and it makes it much less lonely when we have someone else who's been there, done that, to either guide us or support us through it. There's no judgment in this group. We're all here to support each other and guide each other towards working on ourselves. And we can be our own worst critics and we become our own worst enemy. But in this group, we don't allow that. We work on guiding the thought process towards growth. What did I learn from that energy, as opposed to kicking ourselves for something that probably happened that particular way to teach us as a lesson anyway. And the energy of the group is absolutely amazing. And that alone is feel-good energy that it's enough feel-good energy that all of us could use a little dose of every now and then. It really is an amazing group, and I think that you would absolutely love it, and I would love to have you join it. So allow me to introduce you to this life-changing system that puts you back in a position of power and changes the trajectory of your life. This is the solution to your problem. It's a system that we call the Holistic Energy Empowerment System. This is the last program that you will ever need when it comes to discovering yourself and understanding what makes you tick. It's the missing piece to you. This is the piece in your healing journey that will allow you to become the person you always dreamed of being, living your dream life. The holistic energy empowerment system is truly the miracle that you've been waiting for. And the difference between this program and any other program that you've tried is that this program uses each person's individual energy, because we are not all the same. Each of us is different, and we all have our own energetic design. So the program focuses on you and your unique energy, which allows you to relate what you're learning to your own individual life so that you can start seeing the patterns. One of the things that I found when I was studying energy is that we live our lives based on experiences, and we're never taught how to use our unique energy to guide us. And that's its exact purpose in our lives. Our energy works for us, whether we're aware of it or not. It's what keeps us alive. It's the vibe that people get from us. It's who we are. It's the part of us that we thought we didn't have any control of. But when you know how it was designed and you know how to respond to life, it lights up differently, and it helps us to become the person that we always dreamed of being. Our energy lays the foundation for what our life becomes. And when we understand our energy, we know how that energy is designed to support us, which allows us to change the beliefs that we created as a child and to start looking at things differently. And that's when our lives start to change. This is the energy that needs to be broken down to get to the root of. What is it? Where does it come from? What does it mean? Why do I feel this way? Why does this keep happening? What should my next step be? All the answers to the questions that you've probably been asking your whole life. This is what we help you to do in the empowerment process. The process answers all of those questions and teaches you how to grow from what you're learning. Learn what to watch for, how to interpret the message based on your own personal energetic design, and how to transcend that pain into power to help you to take charge of your life so that you never have to feel less than again. In the holistic energy empowerment system, not only will you learn about your own unique energy and what it says about you, but it will also teach you how to read energy for others, which will also help you to navigate your path in creating healthy relationships and helping support the growth of the collective. So if you have related to anything that I have said here today, if you're committed to your own self-growth and you're willing to step outside your comfort zone and face some pretty tough memories, because you have to feel it to heal it, but I promise it's temporary, I guarantee that I can help you. If you're anything like me, you've probably had lots of thoughts randomly popping up into your head, and some of them are thoughts that you don't like and you want to get away from, but you don't know how. Thoughts like, you're not good enough, you don't deserve that, that'll never happen for me, I can't afford that, I'm not worth it. Those are limiting beliefs. Those are limiting beliefs that are holding you back. What would it feel like to understand what your thoughts mean and to be able to grow from working with them instead of being held back by those limiting beliefs and fears? How would it feel to finally understand what it means and why it has repeated so many times in your life, one way or another? One of the most common comments from my clients while going through this process is, I feel so validated. My client Jessica said, reading the descriptions for my energy is like reading my own journal. I felt justified for having those thoughts. I have felt this way for so long, and there it is in black and white. There's such a freedom in knowing that I'm not the only one who has thought or felt this way. And truly, this is how it makes you feel when you start learning your energy, because you feel like, sometimes we feel like the thoughts that we have are crazy, and why do I think that way, and why do I keep thinking that? And then when you read the energy that's attached to our energetic design and you see some of those comments or those things that you were thinking, you're like, wow, other people thought that too, I'm not crazy. And so it's really validating, and it really helps you to step into who you are. Imagine the freedom that you're going to get from that validation, that it's normal, that it's part of who you are. And even more freedom comes when you start believing in yourself and making yourself a priority, because you get to the point where you know you deserve it. And step by step, one baby step at a time, you become the person that you always dreamed of, just by following your design and believing in yourself. our thoughts are energy. And so the program is outlined in a way that I will guide you every step of the way, walking you through the principles of why you're having the thoughts that you are, where that energy is coming from, and how to change those thoughts. Understanding how to pick those thoughts apart to help you to determine if they're tied to your conditioning field or whether they're part of your energetic design, and how to unravel all of it. You then take this information and apply it to your life to fit your pattern, to find your patterns, your thoughts, and your feelings so that you can then break those down. So sometimes we get stuck and we need a little help with this. So we also have a weekly support group that's been instrumental in helping each other to look at things from different perspectives. This is that group that I was telling you about earlier. And I really can't say enough about the group. I think it's the best part of the program, actually. And if you listen to the girls that have been attending the meetings in the beginning, I think it was slide 2, they actually tell you how much they love those meetings and how much they look forward to them. Our energy is designed to help us to grow. So the energy that we live with every day is here for a purpose. The thoughts that we have are here to help us to problem solve and to help us to look at things from different perspectives. And that's how we grow. If we just throw a wall up and prevent ourselves from being hurt, and we don't really look at that, we're not really growing through that. We're just trying to avoid it, trying to walk around it. But by decoding our human design, we're able to unlock the lessons that we're here to learn in this lifetime. And it gives us the cutting edge on understanding life, and it brings us closer to our soul, which is a really, really powerful place to be. And so this is what we teach you in the Holistic Energy Empowerment System, how to read your energy in your own body so that you can use your unique energy to lead you directly to where you need to heal and unlock your potential. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. We can help you to push through that fear and get to your dream life. Just think for a minute, what would it be like to live that life that you always dreamed of if you even had a portion of what you fantasized about? What would you feel like as that person? How good would it feel to be happy, confident, alive, powerful, comfortable in your own skin? Wouldn't that be worth it? So when I was trying to price this program, I looked into other programs that were similar to this one, although there are none quite like it because I literally created this one myself. From all of the different programs that I went through, I put a bunch of them together and created this program to include several different areas of energy. I didn't want to just do human design. I wanted to do energy healing. And so that's what I did. I put all of that stuff together, and I continually add to that as well. But anyways, those other programs that I looked into that are similar, they're selling for upwards of $5,000, and I came across one that was $15,000. And one of the ones that I have taken was $15,000. So I wanted to keep it well under that to make it affordable for you. I didn't want you to have to spend the money like I did to get the results that I got. So I wanted to keep it affordable because I think it's really important to have the ability to help ourselves and to take the time to get to know who we are on the inside. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this. If I could give this away for free, I absolutely would, because I love it so much. I literally spend all of my free time on this. Like, this is my hobby, my work. I love it. But I do have costs associated with running this business, and my goal is to grow. And so in order to help more people, I can't give it away for free. I have to charge something, but I can definitely make it affordable. And I can promise that the transformation that comes out of this, when you put the work in, will change your life. And I know that you are worth it. So you have two choices here. You can keep doing what you're doing and keep getting the results that you're getting, or you can sign up to join the Holistic Energy Empowerment System and get guaranteed results and a support system that is with you every step of the way so that you don't have to go through the hard and scary times alone like I did. This is a powerful system, and I guarantee that you will get results. So I am so confident in this program that I'm going to take on some risk here. Sorry, I lost my mouse. Okay. So I'm going to offer this at a fraction of the cost of other similar programs. And I am so confident in this program that it's going to work for you that I'm going to make it risk-free for you as well. I'm only going to ask for a small amount up front to help with my costs. And if you are not satisfied, you will not be obligated to pay the difference. So the program has been very generously priced at $1,444. But what if I told you that you can get started today for just half of that? You can start today for $722. And if halfway through the program, 6 months, at least one of them is 3 months, but we'll go through that, you feel as though I followed through on my end of the bargain to help you to understand your own unique energy, how to work with it in your daily life, and how to use it to transform, then you would pay the remaining balance of $722 for the total of $1,444. But if at the end of 6 months you don't feel like I've met my end of the bargain, I will work with you one-on-one for up to 3 hours to help you to dissect your chart and understand your unique energy. And if you still feel I've not provided the support that you needed, I will ask that you provide feedback so that I can see what I can do to best support you in our community so you won't be left high and dry. I can continue to make improvements to the program, and you would no longer be responsible to pay that balance. So you have nothing to lose. You would get all of the information on your unique energy, the benefits of the support of both the weekly group, the weekly support group, and a weekly or a Facebook group, a dedicated Facebook group, and potentially 3 hours of free one-on-one coaching. That is unheard of in the coaching industry, but I am so confident in this program and in your commitment to yourself that I am willing to put my profit on the line. I am here to support you every step of the way because I believe in you. I believe in this program, and I know that the possibilities are endless. And I also know how fun exploring you can be. So it's a win-win situation, and you can't go wrong because you will come out of it knowing so much more about yourself than you ever even realized was possible. You'll know yourself on a deeper level and be able to make decisions that are aligned for you and your energy so that you get to control what goes on and who gets in and out of your heart. Does that sound fair? Remember, this is your life you're talking about, and your life will not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And you have the power in your hands right now to make this change. And I am even guaranteeing your success here. You will come out of this a completely different person if you take the time to put you first and put this into practice. This journey is about you. It's a personal journey of discovery where you learn about your unique energy and what it's been trying to guide you towards and how to finally listen to it, to allow it to lead you to your purpose so that you can live a life filled with love, happiness, and joy. This is how it's done, by finally putting you first. Start now by enrolling in our program and take this journey with us. So I know it isn't always easy to spend money on ourselves, but this is the program where you're going to learn that this is totally worth it. But I wanted to make it even more affordable, so there are different payment options available. If it's easier for you to pay monthly, we have a monthly payment option available. Just for the program, it would be $135 a month, and that comes with the same guarantee. You would pay that for 6 months, and if at the end of 6 months you're not satisfied, we would have a meeting. I would work with you one-on-one. If you're still not satisfied, you don't pay the balance of the rest of the 6 months. I also have a couple of more dedicated programs. So if you want to dive deeper into your own personal energy and have more one-on-one time with me to kind of weed through your chart and dive deeper into your unique energy, I do offer a couple of other more intimate programs. The signature level, which is this one here, this is access to the self-guided holistic energy empowerment program, 12 months of access, 12 months of access to the weekly coaching meetings, which are held on Tuesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 months of enrollment in the dedicated Facebook group. And this one comes with 6 months of side-by-side chart reading, including 12 one-hour Zoom sessions where we would explore the unique energy of your chart together and continue to moon your system and dive deeper into your unique energies to heal the deeper layers of you. The cost of that signature program is $2,222. If you wanted to do payments with that one, it is 6 monthly payments of $385. Or you could do 2 payments of $1,111, one now and one at 3 months. If you feel as though I'm holding up my end of the bargain. So the guarantee also applies to this signature level program as well as the platinum level program. The platinum level program is this one right here. It's $3,444. This is 18 months of access to the holistic energy empowerment system. So we extend that for 6 months for the platinum level, 18 months to the access to the weekly coaching meetings. We extend that for 6 months longer than the other programs as well. 18 months into the dedicated Facebook group, and then 12 months of side-by-side chart reading, including 24 one-hour Zoom sessions. And that's where we explore the unique energy of your individual chart. And we will continue to moon and shock your system to dive deeper into your energy and heal the deeper layers of you. So that's a really, really deep dive of energy, because 24 one-hour Zoom sessions should allow us to get through the entire chart. So the cost of the platinum level is $3,444, or 12 monthly payments of $305. So you would save $216 by paying in full or paying in the 2 payments. Or you could do 2 payments, $1,722 now and $1,722 in 6 months, if you feel as though I'm holding up my end of the bargain. So there are different options to make this more affordable for you. Hopefully one of those will work for you. I do have limited spots available today because I want to be able to devote as much time as I can to each of you individually. So book your spot today to prevent missing out on that opportunity. It really allows me to be laser focused on you and your energy. And because of that, I only have spots available in the signature and platinum level of the program. So if you're not one of the first 5 to sign up, you'll be placed on a wait list, and you can expect that to be about 6 weeks. And if that's the case, I would be in touch with you directly to let you know. I wanted to share with you some of the changes that our clients have experienced after working with me. Karen took what I said and applied it to her life. She asked questions when she wasn't sure and followed her energy as best she could and turned her life around. She came out of a deep depression and says that she is happier than she's ever been. Karen was part of our weekly group and absolutely loved it. She felt like the support from the other girls in the group was extremely helpful. And then her and I did some one-on-one sessions. Janice said that she learned all about herself, and what she learned resonated on every level and helped her to feel more confident and reconnected to herself in some ways. She, like me, got hooked on studying astrology as well, and so sometimes she shares her astrology with us. Terry says she looks forward to the meetings every week because they help her to ground and to see things from different perspectives, which allows her to change the way that she sees things. Alicia had a reading and connected so deeply that she signed up for the empowerment program. She's been a superstar student. She really has been doing the work and is able to maneuver life and make decisions in a much calmer, more relaxed manner. She's teaching her husband what she's learning and is also seeing major shifts and changes in his life. Her life has changed in many ways. She left a long-time job that was weighing her down, moved out of state, and started over, and she is now loving life. So join our program and you can meet Alicia for yourself. Everyone in this program is shocked by how much we can find out about ourselves just by looking at our own energy. Every week in our group meeting, there's usually at least one epiphany that someone has. The program is really about showing you how to read your own energy. So not only will you be able to do this for you, but you'll also be able to read for others, helping you to connect on a deeper level and improve your relationships. A reading can tell you everything that you want to know about your unique energy, but unless you understand how it works, it's not going to help you to make the changes that you need in order to make the changes in your life. And so that's why I teach you the principles of it in this program. Because when you always do what you've always done, you always get what you have always gotten. We can't just sit back and relax and wait for things to come to us. We actually have to take action. And understanding our energy helps us to make decisions that lead to us not just taking action, but taking aligned action. This is a one-of-a-kind program that will show you how your unique energy speaks to you and how to interact in the world using your unique energy the way that it was designed for you. So if you have any questions, just hold them until the Q&A, because the Q&A is coming up soon. But I just want to show you what it looks like when you log on so that you don't get confused. And I'm just going to go over the next couple of slides with you and walk you through the ordering process. So this first slide is the first one that will come up when you click in the link. And it just asks for your name, your email address, your phone number, and then your full address. And your full address is, I'm not even sure if that comes to me, but I need your full address in order to send you the welcome package. So each person who signs up gets a nice little welcome package that has some pretty neat stuff in it. And so that's what I need your address for. And then you're going to click on go to step 2, and it's going to give you your payment option. So this is the screen that you're going to choose the program that you would like in. So just pay attention to the amounts. And this is where you're going to be able to choose your payment option. The empowerment program itself is 12 months access to the program. The signature is 12 months access to the program, but 6 months of one-on-one coaching. And the platinum is 18 months for the program and includes 12 months of one-on-one coaching. So this is all of those options here. And so pay attention to the pricing if you're not sure which one is what, and it will walk you through that. And of course, if you have any questions at all, you can always either ask in today's Q&A, or you can always Facebook message me, or if you have any more questions, you can book a call and I will be happy to answer any other questions that you may have or go over the program with you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link in the chat so that anybody who wants to enroll can enroll now. And then I'm going to answer any questions that you may have about working together. And as a thank you for attending today, I'm going to give the first 5 people to join the community 20% off of their purchase. And that 20% doesn't come off the beginning, it comes off of the end. So if you finance the program for 12 months, it's going to come off of the last 2 payments and reduce the 10th payment for you. And I will notify those of you that have received the 20% off via email. It'll be the first 5 people to sign up for the webinar. So I am going to put the link in the chat right now. So the link is in the chat. So if this is something that you're interested in, I just threw the link in the chat. You're going to want to get your deposit in, and remember that this is a first come first serve. And once we are filled, you will be put on a wait list, and that could be up to 6 weeks. The program itself will not have a wait list. It is just the one-on-one coaching that will have a wait list, that may have a wait list. Don't forget, the first 5 people to sign up are going to get 20% off. And please remember that 20% off does come off at the end, the second half of your payments. So now I'm going to open it up for any questions that you may have or any concerns that you may have about the system and about human design or energy or about working with me or anything that you might have. And so while you put your questions in the chat, I'm going to go over some common questions. And this will give you time to write down your questions in the chat, and then I'll go on and answer those. I'll open the camera and answer those, if there are any. So, am I too old to take this journey? So anyone can take this journey. No one is too old, too young, too anything. It doesn't matter what your background is, what you do, what it is you're trying to free yourself or bring into your life, as long as you do it with heartfelt intention and you follow the laws of the universe, the core principles of life. It is possible. It's a spiritual process, though, so you have to be okay with spirituality. What exactly is this journey, and how do I know if I will be successful? This is a personal journey to find out who we really are on the inside, the identity that's hiding underneath the fear and the questions. And why is it that we don't value ourselves? And how do we find our purpose? These are questions that we answer in the holistic energy empowerment system. And anyone can be successful on this journey as long as they have a desire to make the changes in their life and they are committed to themselves through the entire process. What if I can't find the answers that I'm looking for? The answers to most of our questions are actually inside of us, and we have the power to use them to guide our own healing journey and create a life that we love. It's all in our energy, and our energy tells a story. And when we understand that, we have the ability to master that story and learn to create exactly what we want and to know how to use it appropriately. It's not a one and done system. You learn this. Once you learn this, you're going to know how to maneuver through the rest of your life, putting you in the driver's seat of your own life. This is a manifestation process and one of the most powerful tools that you'll ever need in the journey of life. Why should I buy from you? Well, I think you should buy from me because I've put a ton of time, energy, and money into learning how to stop those repeat patterns of chaos and drama, stop being taken advantage of, stop allowing everyone to walk all over us, and finally be able to take your power back. And I can save you a ton of time, energy, and money because I put it all together in one simple kit for you to just literally plug and play. I've discovered the exact process that can help you to find your unique energy and use it in a way in which it was designed specifically for you to take your power back and help you to create a life that you love. I want to save you the time, energy, and money that I had to indulge in my process and just give you one simple toolkit to help you learn. How does this process help with manifesting? Well, every invention in the world was created at least twice, once in a person's mind and the second time when they actually created it. Our mind or our imagination's role in life is to help us to spark creativity and to create. And when we think thoughts that are disempowering, that's what's being magnetized back to us. This is why it's important to be sure that those thoughts running through your imagination are heart-centered and empowering. And this is why I asked you to take some time to visualize your life, because when you imagine your dream life, you want to go big, don't hold back, because the more you believe about yourself, the more you achieve. And that's been proven by people like Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, Jim Carrey, Steve Harvey, J.K. Rowling, Jay-Z, and there's so many more. These are all people who have overcome adversity and created their dream lives from little to nothing. It's possible. All it takes is dedication and determination to find that self-love within. So it doesn't look like I have any outside questions. So I guess that means I did a good job explaining everything. But if anybody does have any questions, feel free to book a call with me. Feel free to email me, Facebook message me, and I can certainly respond in all of those places. But I told you at the beginning that I was going to give out some freebies at the end of the masterclass. So it's now that time. So first, I want to offer 20% off to the first 5 people who sign up. And that 20% off is off any program. So it would be a really good time to sign up for one of the one-on-one coachings because the price is never going to be that low again. And 20% on top of that is a savings of almost $700. So if you are one of the first 5, you're going to get 20% off the second half of your payments. Or if you pay in full, you're going to receive that 20% off immediately. I also want to give you, actually, if you want to pay in full, put empowered, EMPOWERED, empowered in the coupon code if you're going to pay in full, and that will give you the 20% off of the in full price. I also want to give you a copy of an ebook that's called The Beginner's Guide to Human Design. And this is priceless in helping you to understand the power of your own energy and helping you to get excited to see how it all connects. I also want to share with you a copy of Understanding Your Energy Guide to help you to get a glimpse at what your unique energy says about you. It even tells you how to run your own human design so that you can see what your design looks like and you can compare it to the guidebook to see if any of it resonates with you. It goes over all the major parts of your design, covering your energy type, strategy, and authority. So it gives a lot of information about you and how your energy works for you. So if you have stayed until now, I'm going to throw these links in the chart for you, in the chat for you. So check the chat box and feel free to download them. And again, reach out if you have any questions. Let me just throw these in the chat for you. Okay, both of those are in the chats. Actually, I'm going to do this one again. I don't like how that came out. Okay, both of those are in the chat. So I have had,
I'm a different person than what I was.
sorry. I have had so much fun sharing my passion with you today. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for being supportive of me. Each and every one of us has this power within us. It is in our own unique energy. And I hope that I have inspired you in some way to really get to know yourself and become the creator of your life instead of standing by as life passes you by. I would love to have you join us in the Holistic Energy Empowerment Group, and I would love to be a part of and support you on your journey by coaching you through your design, where you will learn what each aspect of your energy means and put it together, to be able to put it together to really understand what's going on in your life and understand what lessons you're here to learn and how to master your life lessons. So I think I've given you a full overview of the system, but just in case you still have questions, please feel free to book a call with me. We can review any of your questions. I can go over the system in detail. I'll put a link in the chat just in case you have more questions and would like to book a call. So I just put the link to schedule a call with me in the chat as well. So thank you so much for being here with me today. And I hope to see you all inside of the program.
You know, a couple years ago. It takes practice. It's not something that just comes naturally, but it's being aware and being present and trying not to think too far ahead in the future or in the past and just really be present. And honestly, a lot of the tools that you learn along the way kind of teach you to like recognize when you've fallen off and how to, how to get back on. And recognizing it is the biggest piece for me, like just being able to recognize it. And I think the more you do it and the more you're on this journey, the easier it absolutely is.
I think without having this, I would be in really bad shape. I really feel this has helped me a lot.
Like every time I come to this class, I feel so much more positive and re-energized just from, going through the information. And I look forward to the meetings because just talking about things and the energy from, you girls also is like, you feel it when you're on the call, So
I agree. I look forward to it too. And I definitely think that the energy together really helps us to heal, helping us to learn who we are at that deeper level, to help us to go through these lessons and be able to look at the bright side of it. Because when you go through something horrible, you don't think there's a bright side to it. There's no way that there could be a bright side to that. But once you start on this journey, you realize that there have been little lessons that have built you up to be strong enough to get through that. And so there's a reason, you just don't know what.
There's certain things that happen in your life that put you on this journey, at times and with different people. I think you've got a lot of great stuff in here, and it's all super helpful, and it's all stuff you can always look back on and help to like recharge.
You can step outside your comfort zone and heal those inner wounds.
And that's a big one for me. I've had it since I was little.
You got to focus on the now. You can't worry about the future because the worry takes away from the now.
Who's taking care of you?
So I hope that you will start taking care of you first, because in all honesty, when you take care of you first, there's more of you to give to more people. So you're really helping people more by taking care of you first.